Hello everyone, welcome back to Hopsy. Today we are finishing out the Tier 1 section of Starting Point. It's called 3, the machine. And the first thing we're going to do, like absolutely always, copy the IP and we are going to do a port scan. Well, actually, it's the A scan. We've changed our technique a little bit. Mostly because the A scan includes other things other than just services. So that is not my IP. I just defaulted to the previous one, .250. Awesome. While that scans, we are going to open the website. And we are now going to look at what the next question asks because we have some time to kill. So what is the domain of the email address provided in the contact section of the website? So let's just scroll down contact. And here we go. The toppers.hackthebox, by the way, the domain part is obviously just like what's after the @ sign. So while we wait, has the scan completed itself? Yes, it has. Okay. So we know that there's 22 and 80. I don't think I see any other ports. I don't think I see... Yeah, okay, so that's 2. Oh, how many TCP ports are open? Sorry, I'm having a... It's 2. It's definitely 2. Okay. Awesome. Now what's the domain? We found this earlier. I don't know why I changed my mind for a second when I said 2. But anyway, so there we go. The toppers.hackthebox. In the absence of... Sorry, not the question is, but it's which Linux file can we use to resolve host names to IP addresses in order to be able to access the websites that point to these host names. So I don't know why they're asking us this here, because that would have been, good to know in the last machine, but it's /etc/hosts. I think this would have been a great hint, especially considering the first thing you need to do last time was to use this to resolve a host name. But anyway, /etc/hosts, which subdomain is discovered with further enumeration. Welcome back. I had to cut the recording because I needed to do quite a bit of work before I could get this next section working. So basically, the first thing we need to do is we need to add the IP address to our etc/hosts like we did last time. So sudo su, I don't need to put my password, luckily. Echo, put the .129.126.250, then do the, domain name that we found, toppers.hackthebox, pipe it into /etc/hosts. We're gonna cat, because I don't trust. Okay, looks accurate. Now I can exit. Next, we need to use GoBuster. If you remember what GoBuster was, we've used it before for file enumeration. And you'll probably be like, well, we need to find subdomains using, further enumeration. And it's like, wow, DNS, subdomain enumeration mode. Well, guess what? That's exactly what I thought. But it doesn't work. And the short answer for why it doesn't work is because, just like last time, we have like virtual hosts on a single server IP address, and DNS kind of only works when it's just like a subdomain, and it's not like a network facing subdomain. This is like an internal virtual host, so DNS doesn't work. We actually need to use vhosts at the bottom for virtual hosts. Now you'd probably think, oh, Sylvester, okay, you worked it out. It's vhost. Everything's going to be great. Well, it turns out if you just do it normally and you specify toppers.hackthebox and then you put the word list. Also, I didn't have the word list installed, so we need to install the word list, which is kind of weird because this is Kali Linux, and I thought everything was kind of, or most things at least, would be pre-installed, but the word list was not pre-installed, so I had to pre-install that. So I did. So now we have the correct word list. So we have, you know, the address, the domain address. We have the word list. What else could be missing? So if I was to, no, I'm just gonna press enter anyway. And in short, it's gonna start showing some really weird subdomains. Hopefully it happens sooner than later, but it will show weird subdomains. And that's not really going to work. We need to add what we call a append domain flag. And this will actually like append each word to, okay, here we go. So now it's like finding these weird subdomains, which are obviously not what we're looking for. So we actually need to do append domain. And there we go, append domain is true. Now we will need to wait a little bit. I think I'll just cut the recording here and we'll come back in a few seconds when it's done. Actually, I lied, we found it already. s3.thetoppers.hackthebox.com. So I'm just gonna stop it immediately. And so now we can take, actually we don't need to, sudo su, we have to add it again. So s3.thetoppers.hackthebox. Actually we can add that first. So s3.thetoppers.hackthebox. Okay, awesome. Obviously they want to know what service is running on the discovered subdomain. So to do that, we need to echo, like last time. Echo, what was the IP address again? I always tend to forget. 10.129. I don't think anyone's remembering these IP addresses anyway. And then pipe it to /etc/hosts. And we're going cat /etc/hosts. Make sure it is correct. Okay, the IP addresses are the same. Okay, so we have cut number 2. We went down the route, well, I went down the route to try and like nmap scan. Obviously that doesn't work because it's the same IP address, it just returns the same information. But what I saw up here was, so basically actually the other things I tried. If you copy this, so I'll just open a new tab because that just saves time. But if you copy it and you try and, I guess, paste it like this, it just searches up stuff. And I watched, obviously I opened this link, I was reading it to see what people were saying, but I already did this and whatever. But here's the fun part. If we follow the link, you get this status running, which is what you should see. Now what I just decided to do is just like type something like, I don't know, index, right? But what the index tells you is there's no such bucket. And I have no idea what buckets mean. Like genuinely no such bucket, question mark. But there's a thing called Amazon S3 buckets. So no thanks. Basics of AWS penetration testing for S3 bucket servers. So it turns out that the service running on it is Amazon S3. Okay, so while messing around, I kind of accidentally answered task 6. And that's kind of because there was a bunch of conflicting information. So for example, if you go to the actual thing, Amazon web page, they use AWS and then information, and then they use AWS like CLI, right? And then pretty much everything says, okay, this is not a good example, but AWS, there'll be more cases where like AWS CLI here. And then, I don't know if I can find like another example somewhere down here, but okay, then you have like AWS version again. You know, there's just a lot of AWS versions. And if you come here, it's like just AWS S3 So it's like conflicting info, but I was just like, you know what, YOLO, we are going to do AWS CLI. And it turned out AWS CLI is the command line utility to interact with the service running on the discovered subdomain. So that was great. Then we kind of just went with AWS configure. So what command is used to set up AWS CLI installation. And now if I just bring it up in a second, I don't want to AWS configure. Okay, cool. Here, AWS configure. So AWS configure. And then if we want to list, I had this open as well. Okay, so now we go into task 8, where basically what command is used by the above utility to list all S3 buckets, and obviously we know it's ls, but it's basically if you just go to the actual documentation, you can find that I've now moved past it, AW S3 ls. And then, so next, I think the server is configured to run files written in what web scripting language. And then when I was messing around with that, I think this is website. So if you just type like random stuff, it really doesn't matter, and you send it, you get action.page.php in the top. So I believe it is PHP. Awesome. And now we have to do the final thing of finding the flag. Okay, so to continue on, we kind of need to do a lot of things. So the first thing, AWS configure. So the reason why is sometimes these servers have like nothing. To be fair, I've already configured, so I don't want to reconfigure. Basically, if you ever do it again, AWS configure, and I just put everything as temp. All the values were set as temp. Now, we kind of want to have a quick geese around, just see if we can actually like access the AWS server, which obviously we can, because like why else would we be doing this? But let's just go to AWS help real quick, just so I can show you something. So we need this endpoint URL to specify, of course, the URL we are connecting to. And then we kind of need to specify something after that, because the problem with this URL is it checks like everything and it's not specific. So we need basically AWS endpoint equals HTTP s3.thetoppers.hackthebox, and S3 ls is just a standard search. And then, for example, if I just press enter now, I'm sure you could see the previous thing. It shows literally nothing. You know, it shows this address. But then if we specify this is a specific search. So it specifically searches like this S3 for the toppers hack the box, and I'll show us what is in it. And we have index.php and whether this is .hta htaccess. But the funny thing is we can also copy files in. So what we want to do with copying files is we want to create essentially a reverse shell. And a reverse shell will let us connect backwards. And yeah, okay, backwards connection equals good. So what we did, we're going to go to pentestmonkey. It's just a public repo on GitHub. You just come here, pentestmonkey, PHP reverse shell. We're doing PHP because we know it's in PHP. You go php. This one here. You download the raw file. I've done this, of course, previously because I tested first. I didn't want to just like YOLO. Remove this. Where am I? We're going to vim it, PHP, and we're going to change some details. So we need to go IPA to get the IP. So this is our current IP we are interested in. We jump back. We have to change this IP with the one we've just collected. Paste clipboard. I don't know why it's not letting me edit. There we go. And we're just going to change the port because I'm special to 3004. I did that last time as well. And cool, now I have a PHP. And then if I just cat it because I want to make sure it's correct, we have 10.10.14.35, 10.10.14.35. Awesome. Cool. So now we need to upload it. So to upload it, we just do a CP, and then we have to specify the file, so PHP reverse shell. And now this will upload it. Cool, so it's been uploaded. Now let's verify the upload with an ls. Awesome, we verified it's now been uploaded. So the cool thing, like we could access the index if I go to the toppers, and then you basically can just do this. Bang. And it'll have like an error, right? It'll fail. And this basically means it tried to run it. But obviously we're not looking out for it, basically. Like we have no way of connecting to it, so we need to connect to it somehow. And we're going to do that with netcat. And then you use the LVNP, and basically we're just listening on port 3004 as specified. So now we are listening, when I entered, we're listening on 3004. We are going to try and send this again. Cool, that was sent. Now, look at that. We've connected to this IP address from unknown, and then this is the address of the server. And we can actually, so if we want, we can do bin bash, I believe. Bin bash I don't think it matters anyway. We don't really need bin bash. I'm just not going to. So then we need to search for the name, and to do that there's a pretty simple function. Let me just search up how to search for file Linux. Sorry, I didn't prepare this one actually. I just know where it is, but I didn't deny. Okay, I think we can do this. So find dot name flag.txt. Oop, maybe no dot. Find name flag.txt. Okay. Oop. We have a lot of processes. I don't think we care about any of those. Boot var, and here we go. Var www-flag.txt. So then we're gonna go cd/var/ww, ls it. There we go, there's the flag.txt. We're going to cap the txt. We're going to take the flag. And we're going to come here and we're going to submit the flag and submit. Awesome, we actually did pawn this machine. This took way longer than I expected it would take. Certainly just working this out took me, I think, at least an hour. Even though I've done this before, you can go on my GitHub and you'll see that I've used the reverse shell before. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was some work. Hopefully I can get a second one out today. We'll see if that happens. But like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.